This is Thought Kharizmah, where thought meets meaning. Let's reflect together. What if the world is reverse-coded? Not metaphorically, not symbolically, but literally. What if the logic of reality runs backwards? What if the way you interpret your life is the exact opposite of what it truly means? What if the things you call delays are actually accelerations? What if the things you call losses are actually hidden recalibrations? What if the things you call endings are actually covert beginnings you haven't learned to recognize yet? We assume life moves forward, linear, predictable, sequential. Cause, then effect. Action, then outcome. Choice, then consequence. That's human logic. But what if that's not universal logic? What if the universe operates through inversion, through paradox, through reversal? What if the lesson arrives before the explanation? The growth arrives before the clarity. The transformation arrives before the understanding. What if meaning is something that only appears when you read your life in reverse? We call moments confusing, unfair, painful, because they make no sense in the moment. But what if those moments are speaking the loudest, just in a language we haven't learned yet? A language of reversal. A language where truth hides behind its opposite. A language where protection looks like loss. Where alignment looks like delay. Where redirection looks like rejection. What if everything in your life means something different when read backwards? There is a story, ancient, quiet, almost forgotten, about a traveler who wandered a desert, guided by a map he believed was sacred. He trusted this map, the way some people trust destiny. Generations had carried it. Everyone in his village swore by it. No one questioned it, not once. One day he set out across a wide, empty landscape, under a sun that felt merciless, across sand that swallowed footsteps whole. But something was wrong. He expected water, but found only more sand. He expected pathways, but found only wind. He expected shelter, but found only silence. Every direction he chose led him further into confusion, further into disorientation, further into doubt. His frustration grew heavy, his anger quiet but real, his fear rising like heat waves on the horizon. Hours blurred into days, maybe longer. Time lost its clarity. Finally, exhausted, he sank beneath the shade of the only tree he had seen for miles, a thin, fragile silhouette against the desert sky. The map slipped from his hands. A breeze turned its pages, and in that small movement, that accidental shift, the truth revealed itself. The map was upside down. Everything he thought was failure was simply misdirection. Everything he thought was chaos was simply confusion. He wasn't lost. He was misreading. When he turned the map right side up, the world rearranged itself. Paths appeared, landmarks aligned. The desert, once hostile, became navigable. He realized something profound. He didn't need a new map. He needed a new perspective. And then he wondered, how many times in life had he misread the moment? How many times had he mistaken silence for abandonment when it was guidance? How many times had he mistaken delay for rejection when it was timing? How many times had he mistaken loss for failure when it was protection? Sometimes the world isn't wrong. Sometimes the map isn't wrong. Sometimes you're simply holding it upside down. The human mind leaps to conclusions. It fills in gaps with fear. It misreads signals because uncertainty feels dangerous. So when life shifts, when a job is lost, a relationship breaks, a plan collapses, the mind rushes to meaning. This is bad. This is a setback. This is a sign of failure. But emotion colors interpretation. And emotion often tells the story backward. Cognitive distortions, catastrophizing, black and white thinking, emotional reasoning, flip reality into a distorted, reversed version. The breakup that feels like rejection might be liberation. The failure that feels humiliating might be preparation. The loss that feels devastating might be alignment. But because the emotional signal arrives first and the meaning arrives last, we misread.
The universe often gives transformation first and understanding later.
The path opens first and purpose appears second. The shift happens first and clarity reveals itself afterwards. Life's timing is reverse-coded. You see the shadow before you see the form. You feel the change before you know what changed. You sense the ending before you see the beginning. Everything arrives, just not in the order you expect. Desire itself is a lesson in reverse logic. You chase happiness, and the chase creates distance. You seek love, and the seeking creates pressure. You chase clarity, and the grasping clouds the view. The paradox is simple. You receive only what you stop chasing. Happiness comes through meaning, not pursuit. Love arrives through openness, not searching. Clarity emerges through stillness, not interrogation. The world teaches, go after what you want. But life whispers, become what you seek, and it will find you. Direct pursuit is forward logic. Becoming is reverse logic. The world rewards alignment, not hunger. It rewards authenticity, not performance. It rewards inner coherence, not outer striving. To move toward the thing, you often have to stop reaching for it. Pain is the most misunderstood reverse-coded signal. It feels like destruction, but it is construction. It feels like abandonment, but it is alignment. It feels like collapse, but it is clearing. Nothing painful is meaningless, but the meaning always arrives last. A seed splits before it grows. A bone breaks before it heals stronger. A star collapses before it becomes a supernova. Why would your life be any different? Pain is not an interruption. It is an initiation. It is the body's way of communicating truth in reversed signals. The universe breaks you only in the places where you are meant to open. You are a map of contradictions, a landscape of paradox, a universe of opposites. You long for connection but fear being seen. You want freedom but cling to the familiar. You crave change but resist uncertainty. You seek peace but feed your mind chaos. Humans are walking paradoxes, coded in reverse. Your triggers point to wounds you haven't healed. Your envy points to desires you haven't admitted. Your anxiety points to intuition you're ignoring. Your insecurities point to strengths you haven't embodied yet. Nothing inside you speaks in a straight line. Everything speaks in metaphor, and mirror, and inversion. Anger is often grief. Jealousy is often longing. Withdrawal is often overstimulation. Perfectionism is often fear. Overthinking is often emotional overload. Your inner world does not speak directly. It speaks in reversed signals. And when you learn to flip those signals, to read them backwards, clarity emerges. You don't become self-aware by analyzing your surface. You become self-aware when you learn to read yourself in reverse. If the personal world is reverse-coded, then the cosmic world must be as well. Endings appear at the beginning of transformation. Breakdowns appear at the threshold of breakthroughs. Chaos appears just before reorganization. Stillness appears just before expansion. This isn't coincidence. It's sequencing. Life gives you what you need before you recognize it. The universe rearranges your path before you know why. The meaning comes last. The shift always comes first. Take a moment. Think of the heaviest thing you're carrying right now. The thing that hurts. The thing that confuses you. The thing that keeps you awake. Now flip it. Reverse it. Ask yourself, what if this is happening for me, not against me? What if this is protection? What if this is preparation? What if this is alignment in reverse? Sometimes the only way to understand your life is to read it backwards. Maybe the world isn't broken. Maybe your understanding is simply incomplete. Maybe life isn't chaotic. Maybe it's coded, but the meaning reveals itself only in hindsight. Maybe nothing is far away. Not your healing, not your clarity, not your purpose. Maybe everything you're waiting for is already moving toward you. You just can't recognize it because it's approaching backwards. When things feel misaligned, or delayed, or uncertain, pause. Ask yourself, what if I'm holding the map upside down? Then gently, slowly, softly, turn it. You may find that clarity was always there. You were simply reading it in reverse. If this reflection moved you, join me in thought. Subscribe to Thought Kharizmah, where thought meets meaning. Until next time, stay aware.